Hello, my name is Elad Segev and I'm from Tel Aviv University. Together with Tetsuro Kobayashi and Kanaru Fukushige from Waseda University, we conducted a study on political bias in AI, sentiments, and semantic networks of Japanese parties. In recent years, people increasingly use large language models, LLMs, such as ChatGPT, to search information online. This includes political information. LLMs often generate biased, positive and negative political content, which could further influence voters' attitudes. In Japan, where there is a multi-party system and new parties are frequently formed, the incentives to obtain political information from LLMs is high. The goal of this study is to map the political discourse generated by ChatGPT on each political party in Japan, trying to highlight their positive and negative attributes. We used the API of ChatGPT 4.0 to generate 5,000 positive and 5,000 negative opinions on each of the 9 political parties in Japan. We looked at parties with representation in the National Diet, either in the House of Representatives or in the House of Councilors. Although ChatGPT doesn't have opinions about political parties, we designed prompt to increase the likelihood of outputs that are based on subjective evaluation of the parties. The data was generated during September 2024. We composed a Python script to collect positive opinions using 50 times the prompt, please list 100 common positive opinions about party name, and similar to the negative opinions. To ensure our sample is diverse enough, we compared sentences pair using cosine similarity in iterations until we found that the sentences were different from each other. For the semantic network analysis, we used the positive and negative opinions associated with each political party. We started by generating a list of the 400 most frequent words in the text, excluding stop words, and marked the words that appeared mostly in positive context or in negative context. We then produced a non-directed network concurrences of those words together with the political parties that appeared in the same opinion. We clustered the word using Levin modularity, which was found to be quite useful to classify semantic networks, as it identifies homogeneous groups of words. In our case, it helps us to reveal common words associated with each political party. So, to the results. This is the figure that presents the positive and negative words which were frequently associated with each political party in Japan. The size of the nodes reflect their relative betweenness level. Positive words were marked in blue, while negative in red. As can be seen from cluster 1, features the Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, together with Komeito, which are both incumbent parties sharing some common frequent words, including education, system, support. Many of these words appear in a positive context, for example, working on educational reform and trying to improve the quality of education, or focusing on building a medical system that utilizes ICT. Another increasing word that appeared in this cluster is region, local, which appears predominantly in a positive context. LDP was mentioned as taking measure to support local communities, local cultures, Komeito as supporting local volunteering activities. Among the negative words that were common to the conservative parties in this cluster are impression, insufficient, and religion. Komeito, for example, which was founded by members of the Buddhist movement, was criticized for insufficient measures to support peoples with disabilities or the lack of diversity, as it mostly supports specific religious groups. Too much focus on religion and lack of diversity are highlighted as negative points in this cluster. Moving to cluster 2, at the middle of the network, it features the largest usually mainstream political parties, including the Constitutional Democratic Party, CDP, Japan Innovation Party, and the Democratic Party of the People, DPP. Many words such as advance, transportation, efforts, importance, and support are common to most of these political parties. For example, the DPP promotes advanced digital policies using information and communication technologies, or CDP supports transportation diversity and introduced traffic accident reduction policies. There are relatively fewer negative words in this cluster, including lack, foundation, conspicuous, and statements. CDP, for example, was criticized for its poor image strategy and lack of media exposure, or having non-realistic statements. Both cluster 1 and 2 feature mainly mainstream parties, and both are connected to another smaller cluster that includes the words citizen, rights, protect, and improve. This cluster reflects a more general positive theme that is common to all mainstream parties. The word protect is often mentioned in relation to citizens' rights and workers' rights, safety, and the Japanese culture and values. The word improve often reflects the economic context. The DPP, for instance, was mentioned as promoting the establishment of specific economic zones and improving the business environment. The right cluster features only one political party, the Partisan Party, Sanseito, which is ultra-conservative and rather unique in the political landscape of Japan. The different words associated with this party reflects its uniqueness. Positive words, for example, include diversity, opportunity, and participate. Due to its ultra-conservative nature, it is described often as the greater political diversity in the Japanese political landscape, and more opportunities for major parties and smaller parties to debate national policies. Words appearing in the negative context, such as elections, results, and strategy, highlight the main criticism toward this party, namely its focus on election results rather than actions. Finally, Cluster 4 features another unique party in the political landscape of Japan, the Japanese Communist Party, GCP. Most of the distinctive words associated with this party are negative, including ignore, past and history, reality, and criticism. For example, the Japanese Communist Party has used violent methods over history. It ignores the lessons from previous communist countries and is disconnected from the current economic reality. The term tradition shows up frequently in reference to GCP, which may reflect Japan's distinctive ideological landscape. Previous studies report that many younger people hold a counterintuitive view, seeing the Japanese Communist Party as a conservative one and the Liberal Democratic Party as a progressive one. To conclude, our findings show that AI-generated content presents patterns of sentiment and word association that aligned with political ideologies. Each party has its own unique set of words, and the semantic networks enables us to identify clusters and to map closely the Japanese political landscape. Mainstream and conservative parties tend to share similar positive themes such as sport, system, and education. More critical views were generated towards ideological extreme parties, often highlighting issues of radicalism. This raises critical questions about the training data, prompt framing, and the underlying social assumptions embedded in the generative AI design and outputs. While those models do not hold opinions, they reproduce biased and skewed perspectives, illustrating how AI can contribute to the political narrative and potentially influencing public perceptions. In conclusion, semantic network analysis offers a powerful approach to identify political bias in AI-generated content, and these tools become increasingly integrated into our political discourse, education, and media environment, so understanding their limitations and biases become crucial. The study underscores the need for transparent methodologies, careful prompt design, and continuous monitoring of AI systems to ensure fair representations outputs in political sensitive domains. Thank you very much.